The death toll from Hurricane Helene is now at 152, with many people still missing. Hundreds of thousands still remain without power as others hunt for cell signals after the storm. CBS's Skylar Henry reports from North Carolina.
Parts of the southeast remain covered with mud and debris 5 days after Helene tore through the region.
The challenges are immense, but our joint response effort has and will continue to be massive.
The storm left behind post-apocalyptic scenes like this in western North Carolina, where cadaver dogs and search crews search for those unaccounted for.
No matter who or where you are in western North Carolina, if you need help, we are working around the clock to reach you.
We've got gas at the bottom of the hill.
Drivers in hard-hit Asheville lined up outside a gas station to refuel Tuesday, with many streets and highways in the region impassable.
My daughter is down in Marion, and she's safe and stuff, but she can't get up the mountain.
As communities sift through the little that's left behind, they're also getting an opportunity to look at the extent of the damage and just how high these floodwaters rose. This video taken last Friday shows just how high the water reached in Swannanoa, only leaving rooftops visible. Pat Harris has lived in the area for 6 decades.
This is devastation. Devastation. It's the worst I've ever seen. Yeah. And I'm 80 years old.
President Biden is set to travel to the region Wednesday to get a first-hand look at the extent of the devastation. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Asheville, North Carolina.
Forecasters are also keeping a close eye on Tropical Storm Kirk, which is expected to become a powerful Atlantic hurricane later this week. Fortunately, it looks like as of now it's going to stay away from the United States. Well, following the flooding in other parts of Appalachia, folks in eastern Kentucky are using lessons learned to give back to victims of Hurricane Helene. WYMT's Madison Carmouche spoke to one community partner, adding a large service to the relief efforts.
As communities in Appalachia work to clean up after Hurricane Helene's devastation, those in eastern Kentucky remember the feeling of cleaning up after a flood and are doing their part to contribute. Hazard Community and Technical College President and CEO Dr. Jennifer Linden says being able to be the helping hand this time is really a full circle moment.
And I saw it too. Many from Tennessee and North Carolina, they were here when we needed them, and we need to be here also for them because they really do need the help right now, and no one knows that better than the people of eastern Kentucky.
This includes right here at Hazard Community and Technical College, where they will be using their CDL program's resources to not only use the trucks to collect donations, but to later transport those to communities in need. In Perry County, Madison Carmouche, WYMT Mountain News.
HCTC, Southeast Kentucky Community and Technical College, and Alice Lloyd College, and community partners throughout 5 counties are all partnering with Roscoe's Daughter. We'll talk to the founder of Roscoe's Daughter about all these efforts tonight at 6. The fall forest fire season begins today, and Governor Beshear is urging caution. Last year, 48,000 acres burned in Kentucky. To prevent wildfires, the Kentucky Division of Forestry recommends to avoid burning debris during fire hazard seasons and during dry, windy conditions. You should report any suspicious acts of arson to state police. And beginning today until December 15th, you will only be able to burn outdoors between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m.
All right, so depending on your location, you're either seeing mainly cloudy skies or a mixture of sun and clouds. And here's one of the places where we're seeing mainly cloudy skies. At the London Corbin Airport, you can see just clouds all the way around. At this hour, temperatures right now, we're at 76 in London, 73 in Manchester as well as Hazard, 74 is the current temperature in Jackson, 75 Ashland, upper 60s from Grundy to Clintwood, 63 is the current temperature in Wise. We're still seeing a little bit of rain being picked up on live pinpoint Doppler radar across portions of Knox County, but that's it. You see what looks like a lot of rain being picked up, but it's not the case. It is being picked up in the upper levels of the atmosphere. So the next 12 hours keeps temperatures in the mid 70s by the 5 o'clock hour, upper 60s, low 70s by the 11 o'clock hour, then mid 60s with cloudy skies to start your Wednesday morning. And speaking of Wednesday morning, when you wake up, we'll see temperatures in the upper 50s and low 60s. But if you look very close on this map, right here, you can see the cold front that's going to push through, and we're going to talk about that coming up in the First Alert forecast in a few minutes. Steve.
All right, Eric, thanks. For the first time in nearly 50 years, dock workers are walking the picket lines. The strike could ripple through both the economy and the presidential race. CBS's Naomi Ruckham reports from New York.
No contract!
Thousands of dock workers walked off the job, demanding a better contract.
Those greedy companies are making billions of dollars, and they don't want to share. That's why we're out here now fighting for a contract.
At more than a dozen ports along the East and Gulf Coast, striking workers are demanding higher wages and protections from automation replacing workers. Union members say a robot workforce hurts not just their livelihoods, but the whole economy.
Machines don't buy cars. Machines don't buy houses. Machines don't take vacations. They don't go out to restaurants. You know, so you need people working.
The strike impacts nearly half of the nation's imports and 2/3 of containerized exports. If it drags on, it could snarl the nation's supply chains, leading to shortages and reigniting inflation.
Nobody knew what the longshoremen were. We didn't get respected, but now we will. Now we will when they find out malls are going to shut down because goods can't come in. Right. Car salesmen are going to get laid off. Well, guess what? Everything that comes in this country comes from the containers off these ships.
The group representing shippers and ports says it has offered a nearly 50% pay raise over 6 years, but the union says it's not enough. The strike could cost the economy billions of dollars a day, right in the home stretch of the presidential race. President Biden has said he does not plan to intervene. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News, New York.
Donald Trump blamed the strike on the Biden administration. The former president told Fox News dock workers have been decimated by inflation. One Pike County school is finding ways to raise money for a family in need, hoping to make a difference as they wait for healing in an out-of-state hospital. WYMT's Buddy Forbes has more from Mustang Mountain.
When one Head Start student was involved in a car crash, her teachers and the staff at Millard School decided to come together to lend a hand by asking students to wear a hat. Millard student Octavia Trivet and her family were involved in a crash in North Carolina Friday morning, sending them to the hospital with a long road to recovery ahead. As news trickled into the halls of the school, its staff started planning for how to give back to the family, creating a Wear a Hat for Octavia Day, allowing students to pay $1 to wear a hat, with all of the proceeds being collected to help the family.
That's one of our babies. Octavia's one of our babies. We're all a family here at Millard School. I know immediately upon hearing about it, our whole staff joined in a prayer circle for Octavia and that entire family and everybody involved in that accident.
Her teachers say Octavia's absence is felt throughout the entire school, so they're just praying for the family and hoping for healing. In Pike County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Other area schools also participated in the Hat Day, adding their donations to the cause. Hear about that coming up at 6. California Governor Gavin Newsom has signed a bill that bans 6 chemicals linked to children's behavioral issues from school foods. The law prohibits offering food or beverages with red dye number 40, yellow dyes 5 and 6, blue dyes 1 and 2, and green dye number 3. The California School Food Safety Act will be enacted on December 31st, 2027. The bill stems from concerns the chemicals harm children's ability to learn. State officials say the dyes have been linked to behavioral difficulties and decreased attention among children. Breyers has agreed to settle a class action lawsuit over its natural vanilla ice cream for nearly $9 million. According to court documents, the suit alleges the ice cream was labeled vanilla, implying the flavor only came from a vanilla plant, which was not the case. The defendants, which include Breyers owner Unilever and advertiser Conoco, have denied any wrongdoing. Anyone who bought the ice cream between April 2016 and August 2024 could be eligible for a cash payment. The court also ruled the companies must develop a new product formula that does not include vanilla from non-vanilla plant sources within a year. A high-tech kind of radiation designed for people is also now being used for dogs and cats with cancer. CBS's Stephanie Stahl has more from Malvern, Pennsylvania.
Cleo, an 11-year-old Sheltie, is visiting from Rochester, New York, getting treatments for a cancerous brain tumor that's caused seizures.
It was a surprise, obviously. I mean, she's been so active.
Cleo is Lily Cagle's best friend. She's at the Blue Pearl Vet Hospital at the recommendation of her New York vet.
They said surgery was possible, but based on what it was, it just wasn't the best.
Instead, Cleo is having cyberknife treatments, a pinpointed kind of radiation that's also used on people.
Really, the name of the game in radiation is getting that dose of radiation to the tumor, but sparing all the healthy structures around it.
Siobhan Haney, a radiation oncologist at Blue Pearl, says she treats dogs and cats from all over the country.
This is the only veterinary dedicated cyberknife in the world.
She says before the treatment, the tumor is carefully mapped with an MRI and CT scan. So you use this imaging to kind of focus
Correct.
The cyberknife.
That's exactly right.
Before the procedure, the doctor says Cleo gets some anesthesia and feels nothing during the radiation that kills the cancer cells.
There's no knife, no knifing involved. The makers of CyberKnife were trying to draw an analogy between the precision of this type of radiation therapy and the precision with which a surgeon would use their scalpel.
Dr. Haney says CyberKnife is a good alternative to surgery because it's non-invasive.
It really allows an animal to get back to a good quality of life very quickly. And also with minimal side effects.
Lily says Cleo has been a little tired, but you'd never know. She's had 3 cancer treatments as they're now ready to head home. Stephanie Stahl, CBS News.
For folks who do not have pet insurance, CyberKnife can cost more than $10,000 depending on the location of the tumor and how many treatments are involved. Coming up on First at 4, it will likely cost more for you to